What's up, armchair fandomaniacs? This is the Real Last Jedi coming to you with a quick reaction video for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Me and Ashley were able to see this movie yesterday, but some things happened. We got real busy and wasn't able to get our reaction video. Hopefully, I'll be able to get this video uploaded in just a little bit, which will be a Saturday evening, and you'll be able to watch it. But before we get into it, like our videos. If you enjoy the videos, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment in the comment section below, and hit the notification bell to receive email notifications each time we upload new content. And just to remind everyone, if you want to follow us on other social media platforms, you can find us on Facebook at the Armchair Fandom Facebook group, and you can follow our channel on Twitter at armchair_fandom. And with that said, let me bring in Darth Pane himself, Ashley Houchins. I don't know where he went. He must have had to go.
Hey, Lucas, I thought you were still talking. I was taking a nap. My bad.
We're not talking about the Sith. We're talking about Doctor Strange. Put down that stupid book.
Man, I thought you were talking. I thought you just kept on sounding like a daggone public service announcement. I nodded off. My fault. I'd been better off out there in the Valley of the Dark Lords digging for some artifacts as opposed to listening to you do a PSA. My bad.
This nonsense is why our videos always run 30, 40 minutes, and we can't get people to stick with our videos.
I'm sure that's exactly what the problem is. I've heard otherwise. Yeah, we won't.
You're always wasting time.
I figured most of my wasting my time was having to deal with you, but that goes without saying.
Yeah. All right, man. What's your initial reaction?
Well, my initial reaction was I enjoyed the movie, and as most Marvel movies go, you got the special effects. It was nice seeing Sam Raimi back doing a Marvel movie-related project, and but the more I had time to think about it after we saw it, I really wish, and again, I like this movie. I really wish they would have gone to Scott Derrickson's vision of it, of having Nightmare as the villain. I think what we saw yesterday, you could have finished up with the Disney Plus show. And I think if you remember when COVID hit, that Benedict Cumberbatch was supposed to be in WandaVision, but they weren't able to film him. I think a lot of this was a continuation of that. And while it was good, I think Scott Derrickson probably had a better script and screenplay than what we saw yesterday. But that's just me.
Yeah, well, let's not get into a whole lot of spoilers on this one. This is just a reaction. Just to let everybody else know, me and Ashley, tomorrow evening, I got to travel out of town, but when I get set in the hotel, we're going to link up and try to catch the channel up. We're going to finish. I got to upload the fourth spoiler review for Moon Knight. And then me and Ashley are going to do a spoiler review for Doctor Strange 2. And we're going to do spoiler reviews for Moon Knight episode 5 and 6. Then our channel will be caught up and we can work on getting some different type of content out. And start looking forward to covering the Obi-Wan Kenobi series when it releases on May 27th. With all that said, my initial reaction to this movie is I really, really liked it. In my opinion, it was the best release that we've had since Avengers Endgame, without going into any spoilers. Anybody could have a really good argument if they wanted to put Spider-Man No Way Home above this movie, which released back around Christmas. The only reason I don't have Spider-Man No Way Home ahead of Doctor Strange 2 since Avengers Endgame is simply because knowing that Sony still owned the rights to the Marvel movie rights, and even though Spider-Man appeared in other movies other than just his 3 movies, and other characters appeared in his movies, there was always just a detachment in my head that made the character feel detached from the larger MCU. So I would put Doctor Strange 2 above Spider-Man No Way Home. It's got some really good effects. One thing I was disappointed in is initially just sitting there thinking about the movie as I was watching it coming out of the theater. It's called the Multiverse of Madness. We didn't see a whole lot of the multiverse. I think they may have traveled into maybe three separate universes from what we've been used to in the MCU, and just some other things. I'm going to let Ashley give us some more of his thoughts.
I'll agree with that. I was expecting maybe a little bit more universal travel as well, but like you said, without getting into spoilers, we did get to see a number of different areas, and then of course, after with one of the we'll break it down when we do our full spoiler review of one of the mid credits scene that actually kind of launches the way for where they're going next. But it was nice seeing some of the cameos that we saw because again. I think you could tell there were reshoots in this movie because it seemed like the second act kind of skipped a little bit. But if you looked at it, though, there was a lot of cameos, but a lot of what happened in the movie as far as cameos was really leaked out there. And I've heard rumblings that Kevin Feige wasn't really happy with some of the trailers that had revealed so much. Now, again, I don't know if that's true or not, but it seemed like a lot of what happened, except for a couple of things, didn't really surprise me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, we'll get into more of that with the spoiler review. That's another area I was kind of disappointed, but it wasn't really disappointment in the movie itself. It was disappointment just by listening to other YouTube content creators speculating about the number of cameos that would actually be in this movie, and there wasn't as many as I thought there would be. A couple predictions I'd made to you on a side note to other people without actually making it known on the channel that I knew was coming at the end of this movie, which brought it down a notch for me, along with some other things that we can talk about moving forward tomorrow when we cover more of the spoilers. But I mean, I haven't hid my feelings about the Star Wars franchise, which was always my number one franchise. I kind of moved over to the MCU after the Rise of Skywalker, and what a fantastic conclusion Infinity War Endgame was. But just like our segment when we cover Star Wars is does it still suck, a Star Wars story? I'll have no problem bombing these movies when they keep going down the road that I'm seeing, and I'm sure that they're determined to go down without going into any details.
Yeah, they're bound to determine to take that path, no matter what iceberg's up in front of them. They're going to try to plow right through it. We'll see how that works for them.
Well, I don't think it's going to work. I mean, I don't want to cover any politics on this channel, but I mean, I'd be careful. I mean, I just would. I don't know why they have to alienate fans like they do. I really don't understand that. Why you can't please all the fans. But without going into that, I just want to stay on topic with the movie. Is there anything else you thought about that we haven't covered that we can cover without giving too much away?
Well, after thinking about it a little bit longer, there was a cameo from somebody who's connected to Sam Raimi, who they really used him well, even though it was very limited. And that was, the more you think about it, that was one of the more positive aspects of the movie because he was funny.
That was a funny moment. And I didn't mind the America Chavez character. I didn't mind. I mean, there was some other characters. I mean, talking about America Chavez isn't a spoiler. She was in all the trailers. If you keep up with any of this stuff, you knew she was going to be in this movie. It's not her character that I didn't like as much as how to use the character. And another scenario, I mean, you talked about briefly, it wasn't what they did that rubbed me the wrong way. It's how they did it. I mean, that was the only downside to all that other stuff we talked about. We can get
Well,
into more of that. I'm finding it difficult to find anything else to really discuss about this movie. I mean,
but
this is just one viewing initial reaction. I would give this probably a solid 8 out of 10. I had a good time watching it.
yeah, I would give it a 7.5, something like that. But I think one of the big positives of this movie was Lizzie Olsen, the Scarlet Witch. I mean, I grew up reading this character. This lady's taken this character and run with it. I mean, she's brought it to life on a scale I thought I'd never see, and she really was. She stood out in this movie more than anybody, and I look forward to what they're going to do with her in upcoming years because she's outstanding as that character.
Yeah. We can get into more of that in the spoiler reviews, but it's supposed to be Doctor Strange's movie, and he was kind of seemed like a supporting actor.
He was there.
Yeah. But I mean, he seemed more like a supporting role than the lead role, which I mean, might as well just get used to it until they go broke. They're just gonna keep doing this stuff.
Well, like I say, if they start losing the dollar signs, the mouse might turn it around and get back to where they were in the prior 20 movies that made them so much money. But again, this is a little bit away from the movie. I understand part of the problem. Like I told a friend of mine, it's like they're having to reintroduce new characters and go a different way and build up a new big story. I understand that takes time, but I think when you try to combine that with doing some of their little agenda things, that's going to be a detriment to business unless we're proven wrong.
Well, see, that's the thing is, I mean, we can have another show sometime in the next couple of weeks and just maybe talk about the state of the MCU because we are a little bit separated from Endgame now. We've had like 4 or 5 releases on Disney Plus. This is the 4th movie since Endgame. So, I mean, they've had plenty of time to show us what type of direction they're going to go in. And I don't think they had plenty of characters already in existence to introduce and build these new characters around. I mean, you still have Ant-Man and the Wasp that's out there. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Thor. I mean, the only ones we really lost was Captain America, Vision, and Iron Man, Tony Stark. So you had all the other characters that you could have introduced new characters around and let their characters grow. As with Scarlet Witch, I mean, she showed up in the second Avengers movie, and by the time Endgame rolled around, you actually cared about the character. But they're just throwing these new characters in there and just throwing them right up in front of the spotlight, and it's not going. I don't care about these new characters yet. I mean,
yeah, there's a better way to introduce them, and again, I don't think that the girl that played American Chavez, I didn't have a problem with the character. And again, we'll get into it in the sports discussion about it, but I just didn't see, and again, I don't know the character at all from the comics. I just didn't see how she connected with Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch at all. But I mean, that's just what they did.
well, I've told you before, everybody knows I don't follow the comics. I know some of the comic storylines as far as the Avengers are concerned. They may not even be going trying to follow the Avengers, the team of the Avengers going forward. But if they were going to try to keep some semblance of an Avengers team up, I mean, I know in the comics you had the new Avengers, the West Coast Avengers, you had the Young Avengers. That might be the new Avengers, actually. I don't know. You'd have to straighten me out on all that stuff. I know you had an alternate, like Norman Osborn had a alternate Avengers team, the Dark Avengers.
Dark Avengers.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope they don't go the Young Avengers route because it's not going to work the way it did with the other Avengers team. For one, younger actors usually aren't as seasoned and they're not as good actors. So you're going to be missing the mark in that aspect. And you're going to end up with characters you don't care about as much because they're going to be young. which means you're not going to have as much story behind them to actually care about them as much. So I believe that's where they're going because of what I know so far. But I hope to goodness they correct it and they don't go the Young Avengers route.
Well, the one thing that gives me hope is that they're going to go the Dark Avengers route. Is that they're going to have the Secret Invasion Disney Plus series coming, and Emilia Clarke, one of my favorites, is in that. If it's rumored to be she's playing the Skrull Empress, that means they could go Secret Invasion goes to Dark Avengers, which means you don't have Young Avengers, you have Dark Avengers. But now, again, Sony owns the character of Norman Osborn, so my guess is they would have to have somebody else do it unless Sony lets them use the character. But I mean, maybe we're chasing a rabbit there. But I still think that they still could end up going that route. But we'll have to see what happens with that series before we can make any definite conclusions.
Yeah, and what's the next series Disney Plus has coming? Moon Knight wrapped up.
Marvel, is it Miss Marvel? Is that the one's next? I think
it might be, which I'm really not interested in.
I didn't really care. I mean, Captain Marvel, again, we've done this before. I mean, Captain Marvel to me was always Walter Lawson, the guy that died of cancer. Then Carol Danvers got it, and although the movie wasn't bad, I knew nothing about Miss Marvel from the comics. I don't know anything about her, and She-Hulk is another one, which again, I'm not. The Hulk is okay, but I didn't go into the She-Hulk character. I didn't know if it really caught on or not. So I'm not really sure how that's going to do either. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, for lack of a better.
Come on, man, we got to stay positive.
Well, first of all, I'm one of the Sith.
I don't want to get stuck in my man cave watching reruns of 80s sitcoms and 80s movies. I don't want to have to watch Rocky 1 through 4 over and over and over and over and over because everything Hollywood puts out today sucks.
Well, a lot of what Hollywood does put out today does suck, but like I told you, the hope for me is going to be that Secret Invasion Disney Plus series, because you got Sam Jackson's going to be in it, and anything Nick Fury's involved in is a big deal. And I think that series is going to tell us, because I still think the next big Marvel event is going to be the Secret Wars. The Russo brothers came out and said that that's what they want to direct next, is Secret Wars. And I have no doubt that Feige would love to do business with the Russo brothers again. We know what their track record is. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is that. The Secret Invasion, the Secret Wars.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that'll do it for this video. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be catching up the channel, and the videos will be uploaded a few days following that. And then we're going to start looking forward to Obi-Wan Kenobi on May 27th and start trying to get out some different content. If you got any ideas on content you'd like for us to do, just shoot us a comment on our Facebook group, Armchair Fandom,
or Twitter.
Send me a tweet on armchair _fandom on Twitter. Yeah. And give us ideas for content you'd like to see, be that top 10s, just a movie you'd like for us to watch and review. A lot of people may experience this, but with all the streaming services now, I find myself just scrolling through stuff and never actually watching anything because there's so many choices. So if there's a movie you've seen and you think we might like it, just shoot us a message somewhere, get in touch with us, and we'll check it out and review it for you. But with that said, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section below, and hit the notification bell so you'll know when we have new content uploaded. Where can they find us on social media, Ashley?
Well, you can find you at The Real Last Jedi on Twitter, and of course you mentioned the Facebook group. You can find me at Ashley Houchins. You can see on my Twitter page the lovely background of Korriban, which I currently reside. And unlike the Jedi, who you can tell is in his car waiting so he can escape quickly before we catch him, you can find us on Twitter or on the Facebook group. And if you got any other, like you said, suggestions or anything like that, send us some comments. We appreciate all feedback. And just remember, the high ground is overrated.
I'm actually sitting in my car because it's been raining for like 3 days. I'm trying to increase global warming so it'll dry up around here.
But you got plenty of hot air. You should accomplish that without any problem.
Yeah. All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, be good. Later.